Welcome to CIC. Today I'll be interviewing my guest here, and I'll just introduce myself. My name is Eugene Kibet. I am a master student in specializing in accounting. We are doing a project called CIC Entrepreneurs Playbook. So I'd like to give a chance to my guest to introduce himself.
Thank you, Eugene. My name is Dilan Wijaysuri. I'm the owner-director of Event Tech Talent. We're an IT executive search firm dedicated to the tech sector.
Thank you. So you are welcome today, and I just want you to take us through this journey of yours, because all of us are yearning to be entrepreneurs after uni. So what step did you take into being a successful entrepreneur from the word go?
Right. So I mean, in terms of my journey, the approach that I took is obviously to be an expert in the field that you want to move into or become an entrepreneur in. The best way to do that is to work for the best.
Yep.
To understand who the best in the market are.
Yep.
So you can build your tools, your expertise, and your connections within the industry that you want to focus on. So, for example, I started my recruitment journey back in 2012. Moved into agency recruitment in engineering, oil and gas. Found out that was not the area that I wanted to be in. Shifted and pivoted to the IT space, which is a booming industry. So it's always, there's a lot of activity, there's always a lot of movement, and it's an industry that is exponentially growing. So moved to IT recruitment in 2014 as a resourcer for one of the industry's up and coming agencies. So it was a startup. Best way to learn is when you're working directly for an owner of a business. So Halcyon Knights was an agency that I chose purely because they were very much in a startup phase. So when you're at the ground level, you're wearing multiple hats. You need to know how to market yourself, you need to know how to do the resourcing, the business development, 360 role. So learning from the owner or a director firsthand, whilst it's in a startup phase, your learning exponentially grows rather than with an established business.
Yep.
where there's a lot of red tape, a lot of hurdles that you need to jump. So I started with the business when there were probably about 12 odd people, and I was with the business for about nine and a half years and seen them grow to over 100 staff. So within that time, I carved myself a niche in the market, which is in emerging technology. So it's AI, RPA, CX, so all the emerging technologies. So those are the sort of software businesses that I, form my connections with and built my network around in terms of the candidate network as well as your client network. So worked with some of the biggest businesses globally, such as UiPath, Technology One, Blue Prism, so all within that sort of emerging tech space. So yeah, go on.
So I'm interested to know, as an employee, did you transition from being an employee to being a resourcer? Like, did you just transition from that path to starting resourcing that startup from your own, maybe back at home, or did you need any funds, or you just started off from just the online space?
No, look, I mean, when you're working for someone, a lot of the accountability part is to the employer. So you're accountable to the employer. The managers that I had, as mentioned, they're the owners of the business. Yep. So they're very structured. They're very, in terms of process, they're very rigid in terms of this is a foolproof process. this is what you want. We want you to follow. So you learn from the best in that regard. So in terms of, I guess, the transition into the to starting my own business was watching business owners, the way they operate, right? And the role that I had within their business was my own little business, if that makes sense. So in terms of that, so my little desk that I handle all my clients with, the BD, the candidate sourcing, that was my little business. My little niche was emerging technology. I own that. So I ran my desk like my own business. So I knew how to, talk to C-level executives. I know how to talk to your MDs, C-level, all the way down to your business development reps that are just starting out. So you start. The advice I can give you is, if there's an area that you're interested in, learn from the best in that area. Plant yourself in a business for 2 to 3 years, or however long it takes to really understand that area and make yourself an expert in that space.
So basically you need to have perseverance so that you can learn from multiple executives, CEOs, and maybe managers. I think the key point there is you need to dedicate yourself and persevere so that you can get to understand how people maneuver around their businesses.
Yeah, look, 100%. So perseverance, one thing. Really having a passion for what you do is the main thing. You've got to immerse yourself in that area. So as a recruiter, if I'm making myself as an expert within the emerging technology space, I need to, follow the right people. I need to, go to the right trade shows. Speaking with candidates within that area or that specialization to be able to flag myself as a professional, as an expert within that space. So LinkedIn is a platform of choice for recruiters, and that's where everything happens. So the lifeblood or the ecosystem of hiring and getting work for candidates and flagging roles by clients happens on LinkedIn. So that platform is where you have to shine. You have to build your network, you have to build your following, you have to put on posts and articles to offer something to your network that is of value, so they see yourself as an expert within that area.
So in terms of being in the LinkedIn part, do you want to say that all it takes for LinkedIn is just all of your time to just be there and start floating if you are looking for the recruiters, like if you want to maybe do some adverts for them, do you mean that you need to be in the LinkedIn, take all of your time, sit there, or you can source information online?
Well, look, like I said, LinkedIn is the ecosystem where clients, candidates, recruiters, businesses operate. Right. The business, I guess the area I'm in is B2B. There's entrepreneurs that go, choose, your B2C, sell to the many, highly transactional, whereas B2B is, it's a little bit more complex complex deals. So LinkedIn, in that regard, is your B2B platform to operate and to be able to sell value, to flag, your specialization, things of that nature. So in terms of, I guess, if you want to really flag yourself as a serious operator within the B2B space, LinkedIn will be a great place to start.
Welcome back. So in terms of sales and marketing, I'd like to know how you landed into your first customers with minimal resources used.
Yeah, so I mean, as mentioned, I've previously done recruitment for 9+ years before I launched on my own.
Yeah.
So I've already created a network, created a following, placed many leaders in their roles, as well as your enterprise salespeople. So when you've created I guess an area or a specialization, and you're seen as an expert within that space, your best port of call to win your first customers would be to reach out to your network, to reach out to your following. So for example, on LinkedIn, I've got close to 10,000 people that I've dealt with, that I've spoken with, that I regularly follow on LinkedIn. Yeah. So in terms of me landing my first deal, I pretty much went on LinkedIn, had a look at all my first degree connections, all the leaders within the different industry verticals that I've previously, sold into or placed into, should I say. So once I've done that, it's creating a marketing or a marketing campaign, email marketing campaign, to be able to reach out to these following or first degree connections, and to be able to let them know what you're doing in the market. And it's a much warmer introduction because you've dealt with them before, so it's not cold. So it's all about really personalizing and making it, more, easier to relate to. So for example, the first customer that I actually was able to win was a company called Nice Systems. So they're a CX vendor. So I've previously placed a candidate into a different role, different business, that has now moved into Nice Systems. So I reached out and just had a chat with them, emailed them my value proposition, and he was able to obviously link me in with their sales director. We sat down, hashed out terms, and I got my first couple of roles through that and was able to fill.
Yeah. So what are the biggest sales mistakes new entrepreneurs in the market make?
So the biggest mistakes, look, thinking back, right, I mean, some of the mistakes that I've personally made, I don't know about all other entrepreneurs, but the detail, I'm a very detailed oriented individual. Yeah. So, having everything down pat, before starting. So for example, to get the website up, to get all sorts of marketing collateral, to really, get the ABN and, your business accounts up and running and things like that. I think I spent a lot of detail on and time on some of the things that I could have poured over to someone else to do. Yeah. For example, the website, if I hired a professional, and paid, a couple of $1,000s to get a proper website up and going, it would have taken maybe about a week at max. Yep. But instead, I decided to do the whole thing because I'm a bit of a control freak. I like to have the content right. I like to have the visuals right. I like to have the logos, everything right perfectly. Yep. So I did port over part of it, but I did the majority on my own, all the content on my own. So it's sort of blown out a lot longer than it should have taken. So what the advice I can give to any entrepreneur is to get out there as soon as possible, because momentum builds momentum. Yep. So if you're stuck, in the weeds to try and get a website up and going, port it off to a professional to do whilst you're doing your business development, to get in the sales coming in, especially when you've got 9-10 years in the industry, and it's about getting those leads. It's about getting the momentum in the market.
Yeah. So for the tools that you use to market yourself, apart from LinkedIn, did you try something like TikTok, Instagram?
So look, TikTok, Instagram, what's the other one? TikTok, Instagram,
Maybe Facebook.
Twitter, Facebook. To me, these platforms are good, but they're more catered for your B2C area, not your B2B.
Yep.
So I mean, in terms of B2B, I would say a good 70% of your marketing and your ads have to be on LinkedIn, because that's where the professionals go. And then you got to look at your trade shows. You've got to look at all these other sort of avenues. TikTok, Twitter's good, in recruitment, but it also, it's about your following. It's about really investing your time to build out your following, and takes a lot of time in terms of, I guess, the value that you can put on a TikTok to gather or to attract the right following. So when you're starting out, your following might be 0 to nothing.
Yes.
So basically, what you need to do is really post on, if it's TikTok, if it's a B2C solution that you're providing, for example, I don't know, fitness, videos, and you want to attract people who want to lose 5-6 kilos. So that's a B2C solution. So you look at your TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, to get your product following out there. You might be putting out an article around, I don't know, a video on losing 5 kilos within 2 weeks.
Yep.
And really, if it's of value, the people will follow you, and there you go. Those are your warm leads. Those are your warm prospects that you reach out to.
Yeah. So for any marketing business plan, I'd just like to maybe you can just give us a short marketing plan and maybe advice to new entrepreneurs, because that was insightful from the B2B and B2C.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're looking at a B2B solution, the theme that I'm trying to sort of impart here is you need to establish yourself as an expert in that area. The best way you can establish yourself as an expert in an area is to regularly post, if it's LinkedIn, if it's Twitter, if it's Facebook, regularly post valuable content to establish yourself as a professional or an expert. So for example, if you want the leads just to flow to you, you have to give back. So what the rule of thumb that I use is, if I don't have work on my desk, I should be posting at least 3 times a week valuable content that my followers can benefit from. So you need to give out free things. For example, if it's knowledge, if it's products, if it's a discount or whatever it is, you have to give something free before you get anything back. So and your posts are the best these days, because especially in the area that I'm in, or any business these days, AI has just exponentially grown. So there's a lot of value you can get, a lot of automation through AI that people find beneficial. So if you're an expert in your field, and for example, if I want to attract enterprise AEs or enterprise BDRs or enterprise salespeople to my business to have a chat with or to follow me, I'll be putting out things to help them in their roles. Hey, have you seen this new tool? Hey, have you explored this tool to make your job easier in terms of building product demonstrations, for your customers? Then all of a sudden, people go, oh, this guy always posts, content that is valuable to me. So I'm going to start following this guy, and then all of a sudden, when I've got a role that's open, that's beneficial for that person, I put up that role on LinkedIn. looking for an enterprise AE in Sydney, paying 400,000 OTE. Anyone interested, please reach out to me. Joe Bloggs, who started following me 2 weeks ago, is looking for a job and sees that as value, and then he contacts me directly. All of a sudden, my network is working for me.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. We look forward into joining you in the market space.
No worries.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Eugene.
Okay, you have a good business strategies, more and more.
Cheers.
Okay, thanks.